Welcome back to Adventure Wheels. Spring is in full swing and you are joining us at the start of another epic overseas adventure. We've arrived at the Dare Lakers Caravan and Motorhome Club site here in sunny Kent, and tomorrow we're going to be crossing the channel and heading to the Netherlands. So we'll see you then. Well, after another seamless crossing with the Shuttle through the Eurotunnel, we have made it to the Netherlands and we're so happy to be here. We have taken the scenic route to try and avoid going around Antwerp, so we've taken the coastal road. It's about the same time-wise, plus we'll see a bit more, and we found ourselves at this beautiful lake, so we've pulled in just to have a breather before we head on to do our next bit to the campsite. We've got about an hour and a half to go, so we're looking forward to getting there after a long day on the road. And then tomorrow Carla has got us tickets to visit the Keukenhof Gardens, which I think have to be the #1 tulip gardens in the world. So we're looking forward to seeing that, and you will join us when we get there.
Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand. As willows align, we lose track of time. Head up high, now we climb. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond dawn.
Welcome to Keukenhof, the most beautiful spring flower garden in the world, as described by their own website, and also one of the largest flower gardens in the world as well. There are approximately 7 million spring flower bulbs planted here, and we've only just arrived and we are already totally blown away. The first thing we noticed when we opened the car door was the scent of flowers in the air. Every year there's about an 8-week window to come and see here, and it's closed for the rest of the year. We're here in 2026, week beginning 13th of April, and this was forecast as the peak blooming time to come, and we can certainly say that's true, although we have been here before in early May, and it was equally as impressive. But let's get stuck in and have an explore around this beautiful place. Well, what an incredible day we've had, and what an amazing place this is. You can tick quite a few boxes here at Keukenhof. We've seen a windmill, we've seen millions of tulips, and also we tried the Dutch speciality Fritz and mayo. Just a few notes on accessibility. We didn't actually find the accessible information on their website to be particularly in depth. So when we got here, we asked a few more questions. There are about 9 disabled toilets dotted around, but no one was able to tell us that there was any advanced accessible toilets similar to the changing places toilets we get back in England. And the disabled toilet we did find was really small, so we struggled a little bit. Wheelchairs are available to hire from the entrance, and you can get a carer go free if you show them the evidence for that. The paths around the whole site here were really smooth and really easy to negotiate with a wheelchair, so we managed absolutely fine, and it was so much fun to get lost amongst the tulips, and we've just had the best day. Tomorrow we're going to take it a little bit slower. We had 2 long travel days to get here yesterday, and then a big day out here at Keukenhof, so I think we need a little bit of a rest, and then we will see what else is in store for the rest of the week. It has been really nice to have a slightly more relaxed day today. We caught up with a bit of work this afternoon, and it also gave us the opportunity to have a good look around this campsite. And we have found an absolute gem of a campsite. The campsite we found is called Camping Zuidduinen. Definitely not pronounced correctly, I'm so sorry. And we chose this campsite really because of its location. It's not too far away from the Keukenhof Gardens where we were yesterday, and also it's right on the beach. The pitch we've chosen is a fully serviced pitch, which they call a super pitch. So we've got water, grey waste and 16 amp of electricity, which is really nice to have everything plugged in and not have to worry about filling up the water. Carla was also saying earlier that the toilet block facilities here are not only the nicest she thinks we've come across, but also the accessible room is probably one of the most accessible we've come across. There is also a really good shop and a restaurant and bar on site as well. There is one little catch about this campsite that we did know about before we booked, but it wasn't enough to put us off coming, and that is that if you're here with a touring caravan and a car obviously towing it, then your car does have to be parked in the car park. From a accessibility perspective, I automatically just didn't like that, just because we really like having everything sort of close by, and it saves sort of Carla having to walk to the car every day that we want to go out. I did ask them a little bit more information about it when we checked in, and they said that it was because of the area that we're in, surrounded by the dunes. I think they said something to do with sort of environmental reasons and having a sort of a lower impact on the environment, and also something to do with the ground as well. I can't really remember, but it made total sense. We've actually not really found it any problem walking to the car park. And we would definitely come back here despite that. And they did say that if it was raining, then I could come and pick Carla up in the car. Another reason why we chose this campsite is that there is a path directly out the back of the campsite right onto a cycle track. And that goes to Katwijk aan Zee, which we spent, it was about 5 minutes. We walked down to the beach earlier. And this is such a beautiful area. One of the things we love about the Netherlands is the cycle tracks, and when there's a cycle track, it also means that it's going to be ultra smooth and really accessible for Carla to roll along in her wheelchair. So we walked along earlier and explored the beach, and also went into one of the many beachfront cafes there and had a lovely dinner, and it was so nice to just have a nice relaxing evening. Today we have also come up with a plan for tomorrow, and we are heading to a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the Netherlands and how the landscape here was formed. It is another beautiful and bright sunny day here in the Netherlands, and we are on our way to see the windmills at Kinderdijk. In 1997 it was dedicated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It features about 19 windmills which are dated to around the 18th century, and it's all about how the water in the Netherlands is managed, so it's going to be really interesting to find out a little bit more.
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. Ooh, we are dreamers of the shore. Now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait. Ooh, wait for our home to show on the horizon. Soon we'll be there. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. Ooh, we are dreamers of the shore.
This has been such an interesting place to come and explore, although it turns out the first windmills here were actually built in the 1450s, and they were actually in operation right up until 1953 when they were decommissioned and taken over by the pumping stations. It's been so interesting to see how the technology has evolved over time, and this whole area would actually be 2 meters below sea level if it wasn't for the genius of the people from the Netherlands working out a solution and claiming the land back from the sea. A few notes on accessibility. So the car park here is very, very, very small at the visitor centre, and I don't think there's dedicated disabled spots available. We rocked up and the security guard wanted to send us away, but I showed him Carla's blue badge and he let us into the last parking spot available, which we were really grateful for. There is a shuttle bus that you can take from a car park nearby, but none of the staff here were able to tell us if that was accessible, and they doubted that it actually was. So your best bet is to head for the main car park and hope for the best. We did give them some feedback on that, so hopefully they'll make a change in the future and make the car park here a dedicated disabled car park. Wandering around the site, we did get tickets, which meant that we can access the sort of museums and the whole site, although the cycle track that goes through the site is a public access path, so you can just turn up here and have a little wander around, even if it's sort of outside of opening hours. The windmill that you were able to go in wasn't wheelchair accessible, so I did go in with my camera and just took a few shots to show Carla, and it was quite interesting just to see it up close working. The disabled toilet is accessed via a key which you have to pick up at the cafe, so we did that, but unfortunately it was so small that we couldn't even get Carla's wheelchair in, so again we gave them some feedback on that, so just bear that in mind for your visit if you come here. Although on a slightly more positive note, when we arrived the first thing we did was the boat trip, which is about a half-an-hour round trip, and it gets you really up close to the windmills and seeing everything that's here from the sort of water level, and we absolutely loved it. You did especially, didn't you? And that was really easy from an accessibility perspective as well. Literally just roll on and roll off, and it was so much fun to do. It is a big celebration day today here in this region, and we've jumped in the car and we are heading to the Bollenstreek Flower Parade. It started at 9 AM this morning and finishes at about 10 PM tonight, and it's a 42-kilometre route, so we're going to jump in at one of the towns it's passing through. It's actually a tradition which started just after the Second World War and has now become an internationally famous event in its 79th year, so we're really looking forward to experiencing it. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit apprehensive about if we're going to be able to park and where we're going to be able to park. We have heard that it gets quite busy, but we're going to try our best and we're feeling optimistic, so it should be a good day. We have just arrived in Hillegom and I'm totally amazed because we've parked in the park and ride by the train station, and there's actually quite a few spaces here. We've got about a 20-minute walk to get into the main town where the parade will be coming through, so we're going to do that now. Well, what an incredible thing to experience, and what an amazing atmosphere there is here. Everything is just absolutely buzzing. We read online before we came that some of the larger floats can have up to 150,000 flowers on, and it was absolutely magnificent. From an accessibility perspective, we'd recommend that if you're going to come yourselves, then to come early and try and get yourselves in a good position, but also be mindful that it does get really busy. I did have to keep asking people to stop blocking Carla's view, but apart from that, it was just absolutely amazing and an experience we're going to remember for a very long time. Next month it will be about 9 years since our very first ever overseas adventure together, and it was actually just before we brought the caravan, and we came across to the Netherlands and we stayed in an Airbnb which was described as accessible, only to arrive and find that there was 2 steps out the front, so it wasn't quite as accessible as we thought it was going to be, and that really spurred us on to buy our caravan and make it accessible so we could travel the world with our own accessible home on wheels and not have to worry about coming across problems like that. So I can safely say that coming back here about 9 years later, staying at this amazing campsite on Katwijk aan Zee, and being in our own wheelchair accessible caravan was the best way for us to come here and see the tulips and indeed explore this incredible country. We have just come down to the beach for one last time to enjoy the sunset, and tomorrow we've got about 400 miles to get us back home to Dorset. I'm quite optimistic we're going to be able to do it in one hop, but Carla thinks that maybe it's a bit ambitious, so we're going to get to Calais tomorrow and then we'll make a decision as to whether or not we'll find a campsite in southeast England and then go home the following day, but we'll see how we get on. Just wanted to leave you with one last little note on accessibility and coming here to the Netherlands. Keukenhof is obviously the biggest and the best place probably in the world to see the tulips, but the biggest and the best isn't actually always the best, although it was pretty cool. There are a number of other experiences you can do around here, like the tulip experience or the tulip barn, and they're actually just down the road from Keukenhof, and they offer sort of slightly smaller, more intimate sort of experiences that aren't quite as big a day out as Keukenhof is. There are also loads and loads and loads of tulip fields that we've driven past, and there's so many opportunities just to pull in and get out and have a look at them that way. So there are so many options for you if you come here. I can't believe it's only April and we've already done so much this year, and we've got some really good travel plans in the pipeline for the coming year. So if you haven't already, then please subscribe if you want to. There's also our Adventure Wheels email list if you want to join that as well, and we'd be so happy to have you here. But for the meantime, we're going to say thank you so much for watching, keep exploring, and we will see you again very soon.
All these right